Hello, players. Welcome back to the second episode of formerly the Players Podcast. Now, we have rebranded ourselves to the TPP perspective. We will delve deeper into the reasons why we have rebranded ourselves. But first of all, a very, very happy new year to everyone who's listening. May this year bring all of you health, good luck, and may your wishes come to fruition. So this is the second episode of the podcast. Hi, for those who don't know me, my name is Carnage. I'm your host here at the TPP Perspective. So as we have rebranded ourselves, the change of the name should be addressed. So the main reason why I changed the name is a very common thing that gamers face all the time, and that is name has been already taken. There was already a podcast in existence which was named the Players Podcast. Uh, but matter of the fact, there were multiple podcasts which were named the Players Podcast, which I came to know about once I knew about came to know about the RSS URL and the distribution through RSS URL and different other platforms where we can upload the podcast. There I found those podcasts. So it came to my mind that it's better to change early, and and as the Gmail, the email ID that I used was TPP Perspective, and the Twitter handle was TPP Perspective. So I thought it would become quite uh, comfortable for me, as well as it felt as a sign from universe itself that I kept my Twitter handles TPP Perspective, my email TPP Perspective, and later I had to change uh, the podcast name, and the mm, jumble of words that I use for Twitter and Gmail are actually not taken. So that was lucky for me. And so now we are the TPP Perspective, and it very much suits also the theme that I mentioned behind keeping the name of the podcast, that the it's like a third person perspective of a gamer, uh, in a yeah, of a player in a third TPP game. The way we are looking at me and the gamer in me and this world of entertainment, game and esports, and opinionating on it, as in we are in the third person perspective, So yeah, it matches. So we have come in our second week of this fiasco, and with that, I have to mention that the second review of the gaming memoir series that I have been doing is out now on Twitter. You can go to check the crisp word limited review that I have put. And as those who have already checked it, and for those who might not have, the second game that came, those who haven't checked, the second game that comes in my mind when I think about my past life, the second game that I was introduced was the Duck Hunt. It was on that Nintendo knockoff console, and it had that gun controller. That there was a gun which was connected by wire to the console, and when you hit the trigger by pointing it out on the duck that used to fly from the fields, the duck would die if you hit the right pixel. I don't know how it worked. I have seen a video from a YouTuber describing how it actually worked. By the way, it was very revolutionary and very aw- aw- awesome tech at that time. And exactly don't remember, but which YouTuber explained it. The first name that comes to my mind is Mark Ober, but I don't think it's Mark Ober who did it. I don't know. I don't remember, but yeah, there has been explanations how it works. It is something to do with infrared and the refresh rates of the screens. Don't quote me on this, but yeah. So me being an enjoyer of FPS games, it was actually my first FPS game, Duck Hunt. The what I remember, which I remember very less because I didn't play it that much compared to Super Mario World, because honestly it was a bit boring for me, very repetitive, and I was small at that time, and aiming and all those misses in game were very demotivating for me. So I used to get bored easily after failing to kill those ducks. And I remember I would rather switch to Mario itself. And yeah, there used to be a dog in the game. It was basically an simulator, a simulator. Now I think it was a sim game also. The first person shooter that I played, and first simulator game that I played. It was a hunting simulator. Who would have thought that we were playing hunting simulator? It was hunting simulator, I think. If I would have been a bigger child, I would have assumed. I would have known that it's okay. So, as of review that I have put, it was a very quirky, revolutionary game at that time. A bit boring for me, but uh, the sound, the one thing that I remember is the sound design, the hits and misses, the sounds that it played, or when uh, the duck used to fly by, it was a sound cue. Those were very interesting and quirky, and those are the only thing I remember after the visuals. Not much of a gameplay or what were the levels or something. So, yeah, I have rated the game out of 10. If you want to check how much I think it rates on a scale of 10, go check on my X account at the rate of TPP perspective. So, yeah, now moving on. This week has been very eventful. So yeah, I have many things to talk about. Unless last time, this time I don't know how long this podcast would go. This episode would keep on running for, but I have pretty much to talk about. So the first topic that I want to delve is the very interesting roster mania that's going on in Counter Strike 2. As we have already knew about the leaked buyout of Nico by the Falcons, it was a pretty much common knowledge since before I think the Armas of Shanghai Major started. I think before playoffs, certainly it was a known topic that Nico is being uh, uh, transferred to Falcons and he's going to leave G2. And it was pretty much the storyline that last chance for Nico to win a major with the boys, the with Monsi, with Mobs, and the Snacks, and his cousin Hunter. But it was very, uh, what to say, um, anticlimactic that G2 lost, and Nico again went home without a major. Else the else the Nico transfer, the one um, bigger news that is the heroic, actually heroic business model. I mean, in in comparison to winners of the majors of the bigger tournaments, they have made more money. If you win the major, either Shanghai or the Copenhagen, or you have won Blast Major Finals or Blast Finals or Summer Finals or the Yalla Compass, the winner team, if only a single team won all those events, then also they couldn't match the number what Heroic has just got for transfer of Tesses, Kixan, and Dexter. I mean, got a great number. The the amount that is out in the social media on the social platform says Heroic earned $10 million for this whole transfer. With this transfer to Falcons and then Nerds going to Liquid, they have made a hefty sum of money. Plus, remaining Shush is going to NIP, and they have a lot of bank balance now to work on something. And since it's now the new point system uh, format in for the majors, as a day ago Valve has released the new format. They have increased the number of teams to 32 for the majors, and they have divided into three phases: one, two, and three. The If you have reached playoffs in the last major, then you are straightly invited to the phase three and phase one. I mean, yeah, you're directly invited phase one, and if you are directly invited, and if you have made to the our elimination stage in the last major, then you are uh, directly invited to phase two. And so I think Heroic would be invited to, because they finished what they finished second or third. They finished third, fourth in the Shanghai major. That was a very good standing. They might have points to get invited, and with this great deal and with new players, I think Heroic is in a good position. But I am taking so much time discussing Heroics because Heroic and Mouse, after Mongols, these are the two teams which were very good. They're very good in this last major, and I think Heroic should have stayed with the team. That team had very good potential under the idealing of Kixan, the great Emers. Uh, they are young people, young players. I think they could have won a major. And with Robs also moving to Vitality, phase has become weaker with Nico's movement to Falcon and Heavy God coming to G2 and Cloud9 disbanding. These movements have very much weakened the uh, many competitors of Heroic. I mean, if you have to rank teams, I think Spirit, Vitality, Phase where Navi were our Heroic, Mouse, G2 were somewhat similar in performance to what Heroic were capable of. They were very much capable to defeat these teams. Now, in those teams, Phase has disbanded, Nico has gone, and I mean, my thought is Heroic should have stayed, but yeah. And then second interesting news is the movement of Nerds. Nerds going to Liquid. I think now Liquid has very good firepower, but they have to take IGL from Twist. Not because Twist is bad with IGLing, but I think he needs to be free to focus on the game as a rifler, and with nerds, twist, nav fly, Yakinda being benched. I think these three riflers could could do serious damage on server. And then Elite moving to phase. Uh, you can you can debate about was Rob's better or Elise will be better for phase. I think on a good day, both are very good riflers, very good aimers. But I think from this move, Elise is going to be in more benefit than what Rob's is. The way Elise has been performing in complexity, he has been fragging out, and yet complexity have been unable to leave a mark in the scene. I think he deserved much better team and phase. I think what phase have been if Frozen gets back in his fragging way, on his fragging potential, then I think phase with Elise could do magic on the server. And same with Vitality. I mean, Spinks was a very good aimer, but Rob's. I uh, the one thing that comes to my mind when I think of the Vitality minus Spinks plus Rob's move is I don't think there is going to be much change. Both Spinks and Rob's, if on a good day, they are very good aimers. I don't think what was the thought behind this move. Let's see. Let's see when the tournaments start to happen. We have many things to keep and look out for. First, Nico versus Monesi on the server. Second, how does Liquid performs with addition of Nuts, Elite with Phase, and Robin Vitality. It's this Rostermania is fun to watch, and I think it would be much more fun when the tournaments begin. Now, moving on from the Rostermania, the HLTV awards are coming, and today, top 11th best CS2 player in the world was announced, and it was wonderful from Navi. The one thing till now, all those announcements of HLTV top 20, I think Elise would have been in top 10 based on his performance in complexity, the experience he has, the firepower he has. I mean, have you seen Elite on the server, on a major, on a LAN, just flick and give a headshot with an AK or an M4A1? How quick he is with that shot that in the in the in the observer's view you see the, his his agent a little bit bend with a rifle in his hand, and he swings and bam, the headshot. I mean, that's very impressive how Elise does that. And keeping him anything below, anything above 10, I think is a little bit injustice for Elise. I think he would have been top 10, but never mind. HLTV thinks other way. I wish with Phase Elise would get a major, if not at least top 10 in the HLTV Awards 2025 or 6, I mean. And now we will wait for the top 10s. I think definitely Mongols players Shenzhou or 910 or Techno 4K will be in those top 10, and I will be very happy to see one of I will be very happy to see two of them in top 10, but I think at least one Senju, the man who has got his hand injured in the top 10s of the HLTV awards. And so, yeah, this is all about CS2. This week is very happening. Moving on from CS2, before we move on from CS2, I would like to also address about the CoffeeZilla video. Have you guys watched CoffeeZilla's video on the three video series on CS2 gambling? I think it was a good video, but as I tweeted, I would like to add here also on the podcast that a major thing that I think could be addressed is parenting. Why those underage CS2 gamble addicts or addicts who started gambling underage? There is a pattern that there was the absence of an oversight by the parents. And I think if parents keep an eye on children's actions over social media, their expenditures, their habits, talk to them in a week or a month or a fortnight, I think they could help the whole community, and this problem of CS2 gambling by underage kids could be very much restricted. That's my thinking, that's my opinion, and I think in the West it's a very rampant problem. I don't know. Now moving on. Mm, there are a few something interesting things that I would like you guys to opinionate on, and it's not from the esports universe, but it's from gaming, but the other type of game. The recent fiasco of chess, Magnus Carlsen being penalized and uh, not allowed to play in the FIDE, 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 if you say it like that, it's FIDE. FIDE's championship. I think it was a world championship. And because the reason he was not allowed to play or he was penalized, that according to FIDE's rule books, you are not allowed to wear jeans and play chess. Yeah, I also thought, what the heck? Why? Why it's not allowed to wear jeans? I think it was a bit, I don't know, but there are two aspects of things. First, rule is a rule. You knew about it. You have been world champion. You have been playing in FIDE for quite a while. You must have known if it was something which was a mistake by Magnus Carlsen, or if it was a type of protest against those absurd rules, then I want to know. Actually, I want to know why jeans is not allowed in FIDE. If anybody of you know, I should have searched it, I should have Googled it, but I couldn't remember, I couldn't got time. I won't give any excuses. It skipped my mind. If you guys know anything why, comment down or reach at Twitter/X. And yeah, now the another thing Moving to the more entertainment sections, movies. I recently watched Marvel's season 3 of What If, and I tweeted something, a bit of rant against Riri Williams, the new character of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which was pretty much bashed by viewers in the Black Panther movie. And I think the I don't remember exactly, it was the fifth episode of the What If. But in the way that episode was laid down, it was the theme of the episode was very good. As if I remember, the title of the episode was "What if Earth got destroyed in oil emergence of the celestial that was in the egg in the core of the Earth?" And it's a post-apocalyptic dystopian future in which they are fighting against uh, the villain from the second Spider-Man movie. What's his name? The Jake Gyllenhaal character. What's the name of Mysterio? Yeah, Mysterio. Mysterio has controlled some nanite bots or some Stark tech, and he's created an illusion and bots of. He has controlled the White Vision, and they are eliminating certain people who are revolting against his tyranny. The scene that bothered me very much was, I mean, there were two scenes. The first being Riri Williams was trying to figure out some tech to defeat White Vision or White Visioner or some anti nanite tech, and one of the character asked her how much time it would take. She said 12 hours, and she replied, "No, you're Riri Williams, you're a genius. You will do, you will get it done in the time we had," or something like that. And she does it. Okay, you are trying to set up that Riri Williams is a genius character like Reed Richards or Tony Stark or something. But being genius doesn't imply that you are skillful or you can do anything faster. It's nothing to do with being genius. Yeah, you have knowledge, you have genius, but if a thing is going to take 12 hours to build, you can do it in 6, you can do it in 7. How could you can do it in 5 or 10 minutes? I didn't understand. It was assembling something. I don't know. They the the one thing that sparked in my mind that it could be kept in parallel to is that of Tony Stark discovering time travel in the end game overnight. I think that scene was just designed to either draw a parallel to Tony Stark discovering time travel, or showing that she is the same genius level. And the second scene that bothered me was the watcher Uatu said there are many scenarios, there are many times when those series of events happen and Riri Williams fought and lost. And at that moment, Uatu turns over and speaks, fight, fight. And she hears him and wins. I mean, Watcher Watchers had an oath not to intervene. Uatu has been intervening in situations, in circumstances which were dire. The one in the fifth episode with Riri Williams, I don't think it was dire, not on an emotional level, not on any catastrophe diverting situation or or being a canon moment, but Watu intervened. I think that comparison, that genius level intellect showcased by doing stuff which according to her would take 12 hours, she did it in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Or that of Watu interfering at that moment, compare it to his intervention with Doctor Strange, or his intervention when the Infinity Ultron gained the Infinity Stones and destroyed everything. Those two events, respectively, are very emotional point and very catastrophic point in the storyline. And this one was nothing compared to two. Still, Watu intervened. So I think that that was very bad for story writers of What If. And as I watched the ending explanation by Eric Voss from New Rockstars, he also mentioned the degradation of the storyline that's been happening in season 2 and season 3 compared to what a gem of a episode, what a gem of a series the first season of What If was. And mm, that rant on my Twitter was just the disappointment that I have been seeing from this Riri Williams character from Black Panther coming to the Armored Core or Armor Wars movie that's or series that's going to come, and her depiction in uh, the What If series that I I got fed up with the direction Marvel is going since Endgame. Yeah, so I tell me guys, what do you think about it? If you have anything about to say, you can find that tweet at Twitter and at my TPP perspective at X, and we can have a chat. We can have a chat about it. The next thing about that I want to talk about is a trailer, a new trailer that I watched of a new movie, and I think the name of the movie is The Electric State. Yeah, I think that's the name, and it stars, I think, Millie Bobby Brown. I'm not sure. It's Millie Bobby Brown or the girl from the Wednesdays. But yeah, that that movie, that theme of the movie is very intriguing to me. uh, and I think the hero in that movie is the protagonist is the actor who plays Peter Quill. I'm not sure, but it's some humans and robots, and then Jurassic Park kind of stuff, and something with souls and philosophy and robots. I searched about it. It's based on a book by a writer, I think, of the same name, The Electric State. I am very excited to watch that movie. Have you guys seen that trailer? If not, you can check out. I think it's one of those movies that could be good, and I will be waiting to get an opportunity to watch that. And yeah, these were the few topics that I wanted to talk about. And then there are a few announcements that I want to make. We have opened, I don't think I've opened a subreddit, but I am on Reddit now. And as well as we have figured out the RSS URL stuff. So we are at many places other than Spotify. We are at Amazon Music. You can listen our podcast on Amazon Music. You can listen our podcast on Spreaker. You can listen our music on our podcast on Apple Podcasts. You can listen it on I think Good Pods and many others. You can, and actually we have prepared a link tree where you can go and watch where we are. We are at YouTube Music. We are as a playlist on YouTube on the channel The TPP Perspective. We are the TPP Perspective everywhere. You can check us out anywhere you want. And yeah, so you can, the easy way to find out is go on my Twitter and the at the rate of TPP Perspective. And there are links to all major Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, as well as there's a link tree link in which you can find everywhere where you can find us. Also, we are releasing a podcast every Sunday. This you already knew of. And our all game reviews that we are going to do on Twitter, now you can search all of them by searching the hashtag TPP game reviews. We have we have established a new hashtag so that all our tweets, especially those the gaming reviews that we are going to do, can be searched easily and can be compiled at a place. So yeah, if you want to check all our game reviews, just search hashtag TPP game reviews on Twitter. As well as that, you can use hashtag Q&A on uh, my Twitter account for anything personal. If you want to know anything personal about me, you can ask that. But I will take max one question each episode of uh, our podcast, and there is no guarantee from me that every question will be answered. I might either reply your questions on Twitter or may feature them in the podcast. Else, any topic that you want me to talk about, or you want me to discuss it, or you want me to answer any questions which are non-personal, use the hashtag TPP perspective on Twitter or jot down in the comment section of Spotify or any place you are listening. But I would I would uh, I would like to be frank that Spotify, Spreaker, YouTube, and Twitter are and Reddit. These are some places where I'm quite frequent, more frequent than others. So yeah, if you want to reach me, X, Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, Spreaker are the better places. And these non-personal questions will be not limited. I can take as much as an of them and feature it on the podcast. Also, as I've already told, that we are available on many platforms. So, with that, this second episode of our uh, podcast is over. Go follow us, support us, share us, and if you guys have any type of feedback, leave under my Twitter or at that place where you're listening. Give it a rating, and I think this is signing off. Let's meet next week. Bye.